Dr. Jazz.
I'll just jump in. I have you on so many records, and I love what you've been doing the last.
Where you are located?
I'm in Slovenia, Maribor.
Okay, Slovenia, fantastic.
Yeah. And I wanted to start this talk with the new album, Time and Life.
Yeah.
Tony Williams.
Mhm.
It's in a sense, it's a stupid question, but also not, because Tony is one of the greatest. How come you decided to do this album dedicated basically to him? What's the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, so it's so difficult for me as a drummer to do a tribute to another drummer. I mean, I don't want to do that in general. I did once with Salamon, because I really like the arrangement from Salamon during the 60s. But this time, so the director of the Casa del Jazz, Luciano Linzi, in Rome, he asked me, why you don't do something about Tony Williams as a composer, because nobody know that, many people doesn't know that he was a really great composer also, no. So I think about it, and then at the beginning, my feeling is, oh, no, I don't want to do because it's I was also too busy in that time. Anyway, then I thinking about, and I reply him, okay, I want to do. So I start listening to some different things, some different periods, from the first lifetime, or also he composed for Miles, for the famous three album Nefertiti, and what else? Miles in the Sky, and the Sorcerer. So starting from that, I'm starting listening to all the lifetime, the various different lifetime from the beginning, then and then the last period of the quintet. And just listening to the music, and I decided what was I probably would better to do, in terms of sound that I want to create. So I took this music from different era, and I work on writing these arrangements. I mean, it's not really arrangement, but I change mostly the sound of the band.
Yeah.
Because most of the time Tony Williams do this, use the quintet with classic trumpet and saxophone, and then also lifetime with guitar, organ, very young, all that. And I decided to have some musicians that I really like, and change basically change a little bit the sounds of the band on this tune. So I called these guys, and we go in the studio, and we did this recording. It was really magic, because everyone in the band really loved the music.
Yeah,
because it's so modern, so fresh, and everybody was really into that. So did you listen to the recording?
Yeah, I loved it. I just listened it in the morning. I was making
okay, cool.
Beautiful.
So I mean, the result was fresh, and we are really have good time to play into recording this. We just recording the first take, almost. But we never have a rehearsal before. There is some music that's very no rehearsal, just in the studio. We try, because everyone lives in different. So we met in the studio. We have like 3 days in the studio to spend, and first day we rehearsed the tune, we running the tune. It was not so easy. Some of them are not easy at all. Like a black comedy is so difficult. And also and jive. Tricky. Something,
tricky,
are really tricky. Some other are really cool. I mean, more easy, more melodic. But anyway, it was challenging. But anyway, so we are on the road in those days to do some concert with this band. Also, I just finished a tour with Peter Bernstein.
Really?
Yeah, and we just are on tour until last night. We played in Taormina in Sicily. We did like
fantastic.
a small tour, 10 days.
Trio or
no, quartet with Aaron Goldberg playing piano, Vicente Archer playing bass.
Fantastic, beautiful.
Yeah, and Peter. We just finished last day in Sicily. We have just one gig in Bulgaria. We play at the Bansko Jazz Festival. All the other gigs was in Italy. We just finished. I love to play with Peter, so it's not the first time. But he always called me when he came in Europe, and this is the third tour we
already. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. The other two was Sullivan Forner playing piano and Doug Wise playing bass. Anyway, so we finished this, and then I have some gigs with the Tony Williams project, and that's it. No vacation. I'm just gonna pass by Rome and stay like with the family 2-3 days, and then I have other 2 gigs or 3 gigs until the end of August.
Well, that's good. Good that you play a lot. I mean, that's fantastic nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, August was not so bad. We played the Paolo Fresu Festival in Berkida, Sardinia. It was really nice. So we have some interesting gigs anyway.
Was Tony important? I mean, obviously he was important for you, but like, you growing up as a teenager, early 70s, or
absolutely,
who were the musicians back then that you said like, shit, I wanna start playing jazz? How did you decide that? And
as a drummer, I mean, I listened to a lot of music because my father was really a great fan of music in general, jazz music, also classical music. I'm always listening to good music in my apartment, in my house. But I remember the first drummer I listened to was Buddy Rich, because he has some recording for the big band, and so I was really shocked about it. So, but it was different because big band, classic arrangement, that kind of sound. But as a drummer, I was really impressed about Buddy Rich. Then I start listening to something different. I mean, I remember one of the first recording was "I Love Supreme" by John Coltrane, of course, as many musicians start listening, learning jazz about "I Love Supreme." So Elvin Jones in one side, and the other side, another recording so incredible for me just to understand, start listening something different, was 7 Steps to Heaven by Miles Davis, and Tony was there. So and he played very, very differently from Elvin Jones. Two great personality, but so different. So they played 2 different ways. And I started listening to Tony Williams since that time. So it was probably the 71, 72. I started listening to him, and then I discovered other recording for more, and start listening more from Tony Williams. And I never spent time to study Tony Williams, because at that time there is not anything except the recording. So I just put on the turntable 7 Steps to Heaven, and I try to play with them. This was one of the best way to learn music, to play on the recording, and it was really difficult to follow what he's doing. And sometimes I listen to something that I really like, and I try to recreate that kind of thing, but just by ears, So how he do this kind of thing. So I listen to the sound, and I try to recreate the sound. This is the most important thing. I never try to transcribe, because it's too difficult for me to transcribe, but also to read what I eventually transcribe. I never transcribe. I'm always listening and try to imitate them. I try to replicate what I hear by ears.
Like, how did you then? I played with so many Italian musicians since late 90s, and I know the Italian scene. I've many clubs all over Italy, but how was for you in mid-70s entering the scene? I know you had a trio with Danilo Rea, and then you know Enrico Pieranunzi is there also, two important piano players for you. How did you enter the Italian jazz scene and connecting, you know, especially with so many Americans, like what you also still do now, like Chet Baker was there and Art Farmer and all these guys. How was that like for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. In the 70s, there is not many things in Italy happening, you know, in terms of jazz club. You know, we have the main jazz club was one in Milan, it's called Capolinea, and another very famous club in Rome is called Musicin. Probably there's something in Bologna, but I'm not sure about. So that's it. Then there is some you know, people that who really love jazz music and will try to organize something in a, you know, in some different spot, but not in jazz club. Maybe some private house or something like that. But at the time, the most important thing was a great period because many jazz greats are touring Europe, you know, and they are almost all alive. They are almost still alive. And so there was a great promoter in Italy, it's called Alberto Alberti, who invented Umbria jazz together with Carlo Pagnotta. But the idea was coming from Alberto Alberti, who he was a really great fan of jazz music, and he became friends of many great musicians. You know, one of the most important was Miles Davis, who was really together with Miles. A really close friend to Dexter Gordon, really good friend to Philly Joe Jones. You know, it's really, you know, and he became a promoter. So he invite through other European and eventually other manager. He connected with George Wayne, that was a great, you know, American promoter. So really connected. So when these musicians came to Italy, he tried to book dates from, you know, and most of the time these great musicians coming alone without rhythm section, without the band, you know, just touring, you know, like Lee Konitz, Johnny Griffin, Dexter Gordon. Some of them they really like to spend time in Italy, and they came alone with their instruments. So this Alberto Alberti know that in Rome there is some young musicians that playing good. I mean, and he tried to help these musicians to get gigs, you know. And he called me and he said, "Okay, you want to do a little tour in Sicily with Lee Konitz, you know?" And then or other musicians like Steve Grossman, Bob Berg, you know, then in the 80s. But anyway, this person was so important to me because it was really helpful for young generation of musicians. So and this thing happened. So at the same time, me and Danilo and Enzo Pietropaoli put together this trio, you know, as a student, because we are really young, and we start playing together as a rhythm section also. So Alberto Alberti know this, so he called everyone of the trio and say, "Okay, you want to join this musician?" And we start doing some concert with these great musicians. And then Chet Baker was another story, because Chet Baker was living in Italy most of the time. And he's moving all the time, but he spent a lot of time in Italy, and, since when was in the jail in the end of the 50s. You know, unfortunately, he know really well the Italy scene, and he really love it, you know, because people love him anyway. He was really a great personality, you know, at that time. So was kind of an actor, so famous. So Chet spent a lot of time in Italy, and I don't know, somebody told him about me. And one day I received a phone call. So I'm Chet Baker. So he speaks very good Italian also. So this was 1980. I remember perfectly the year. So in 1980, so I'm leaving for a tour in Europe for, you know, next month. You want to do this tour with me? And I say, absolutely. And I was a student at the time, so I have to leave the school for do this because the tour was, like almost 3 weeks, almost 1 month tour. So I have to stop the school. Then I decided to retire from the school and, and trying to be a musician full time. And then we did this tour with Chet Baker in all Europe. I remember Germany, France, Belgium, Switzerland. We did. We touring for 3-4 weeks, together with other 2 Italian musicians, was Maurizio Gianmarco and Riccardo Del Fra, and an American piano player called Dennis Lux, Chicago piano player. So Chet know this guy, Chet know a lot of people around. So then after this, so I play with Chet many other times, during the years, since really really close to the day when he left.
Yeah,
we just played like 2 weeks before he left in Torino. I remember Enrico Rava organized a kind of carte blanche and invite Chet Baker to play one of these concerts. And this was my last time I see Chet Baker, and we played together in Torino. Then I'm always have this, my name is going around. I don't know. No, I don't know why. Probably is not the correct thing to say, but my name goes really over Italy. Probably because I work with these musicians. These musicians, they talk together, and they know me by name, And when somebody, so I want Roberto Gatto playing drums with me. So I receive phone calls from Bob Berger, Steve Grossman, Joey Calderazzo, many of them. So they say, I know you since many times because Alberto talking about you, and then I talk with blah blah blah. So my name is going around, and I always have the connection with the American people since I decided to. I mean, I'm coming often to US, to New York to play and to stay, to spend time, because New York is so important for jazz musicians to stay, especially back in the days. Even now, but a little different. Then I decided to buy an apartment in New York a couple of years ago. Yeah, 2012. And I bought my house, in Harlem, and I stayed for 6 years until 2020.
I didn't know that. Well, okay.
Yeah. I never lived there permanently, but I've been to back and forth every year. I'm 3, 4, 5 times every year, and I stay for 1 month in my place. So I get a green card also, all the shit. But then, too expensive. I decided to quit, and I sell the apartment. But all these years, I spent a lot of time with American musicians. That most of them are good friends. So I play and I do session, and so I keep. I'm always staying in touch with them. So that's why Peter Bernstein or people like this, they call me. And then when I go in New York, I call Peter to play my gig, And I really love American musician anyway. I really love any musician play good, but talking about jazz, talking about jazz traditional, from the roots, playing with them is always learning, I'm always learning something because they're really into this music, as anybody do like this, because they play almost every day and they have really strong connection with this music, and they know anything about. So it's really, they really tell the truth when they play this music. I can feel it, it's so important. So important. So not always they are good because jazz, they are American. I don't care. We have a lot of great musicians in Europe that could play this kind of music, as everybody knows. But anyway, they play their music. This music is
it comes from there. Yeah, I mean,
it comes from there. I don't want to say they invented, because at that time everybody know that most of the jazz great musicians are Italian American, or Jewish, or or whatever, or black musicians. But anyway, Italian community was really strong in the United States. So many musicians coming from, the roots are Italian anyway. But living there is a different thing. So to breathe this kind of air, in the city, the competition there, and also every musician decides to move to New York, because it's a really happening place.
For some time,
It's really the spot, of the entire world to me. Anyway, so I like to play with them, but also I like to still doing my thing with the Italian musician and playing my music and write original music, not necessarily connected with the traditional jazz. I mean, I like to play anything. So that's it. I stopped talking.
No. That's why we're here, because you. I would like to hear you talk.
No. I talk so much.
No, man. It's about you. So you talked about having your own bands, and I remember the first records I heard by you were Notes and Ask, your band leading debuts, and those are incredible, beautiful records. And how did you decide to become a band leader there in the mid-80s, and to invite like Michael Brecker on that first one, and then John Scofield on Ask? Like, what's the story behind those records?
I have to say that was really natural process. I never thinking about now I want to be a leader, but it's a really a natural approach to this kind of that is really different. I mean, so you have to it's a big responsibility to be a leader, still now. So I realized that you have to be really strong to be a leader, to lead a band, and so to be point of reference for the musicians. And also you have to work, of course, you have to work hard to be a leader in terms of why you decided to be a leader, because you are also a great composer, or a composer, or just because you stay in front of the stage and you move your hands and I'm a leader, because I'm the best. No, I don't want to, I don't like it. Even, Art Blakey was a great leader. Why? He didn't compose anything, but yes, in terms of, he's so smart to put together the right musicians in the right moment, and he had some people like Wayne Shorter or Lee Morgan into the band. Wayne Shorter used to be also the musical director. So the music came from Wayne, but then it goes through the other musicians. It goes through finally to Art Blakey that put together all these things. It's his responsibility. So you can be a great leader also if you have the control of what you're putting together, in terms of good band. So most of the time, back in the days when I realized these two CD album at that time that you mentioned, I really don't have any idea of what I'm doing in terms. I was writing some music, but what's really, I didn't know so well how to compose. I just, now it's very different, because then I tell you something about this. But at that time, I do something like Art Blake used to do. I have a good choice with having good musicians around me, especially the first recording. I would like to have as much as possible, all the friends that I really know coming from all different cities. And 2-3 piano player, 2-3 guitar player, 2-3 bass player, the 2 horns and whatever. And then, of course, I was really a great fan of some some music that at that time coming out, Steps Ahead and Michael Brecker, Brecker Brothers, and Scofield, the first recording. So I was really into that. So I'm always listening to this music. And so one day I decided I loved, they are my hero, and I really would like it. It was kind of impossible to have a connection with them, except that probably when they came to Italy, so you buy a ticket and you go listen to the concert, and then you go home like, wow,
yeah,
what is this? So I don't want to tell the whole story about the first recording, but it was really also this became from my heart, from a natural thing. One night I decided I want to do my first recording, but I would like to have Michael Brecker. How to get Michael Brecker at that time? I have a friend,
exactly, yeah,
Furio Di Castro, bass player.
Yeah, sure.
I remember we was in a dinner, his place near Rome, and Furio told me, I know a saxophone player that I play with that probably know Michael Brecker so well. Probably I can call him and get the number of Michael Brecker. And so he called with the regular phone, because at that time it's no cell phone. And he called this friend, hey, how are you doing? So do you have Michael Brecker number? Yeah, of course, this is Michael Brecker. So we just, hung the phone, and we did the 212 number, in New York. And the telephone was ringing, and the other side, so hello, was different, of course, the different change,
Time zone,
because,
yeah.
and it was okay. I'm Roberto Gatto. No. My friend talked, because I didn't talk so much English at that time. So I'm a friend of Roberto Gatto. He's a drummer. I'm a bass player. So introduce myself. Okay. So we would like to have a recording to have you as a special guest in Roberto Gatto recording. And he said, well, I'm coming to Italy. We can, in the fall, like next month, I don't remember. We can talk about this. Just come to the concert and maybe we can talk. So he spent like almost 1 year to organize this session, because I've been when he arrived in Italy, I've been to the concert. We met each other. So I say, okay, you're a big fan, and I would say, so what kind of music you want to play? So we discuss about, okay, I'm coming again this summer. Let's see, because I'm really, really busy. So it's just a question of when you want to do this, because I'm really, really busy. So I spent a couple of months. I've been to Umbria Jazz. They came with Stepside, and at that time I was already in the studio, and I prepared some tracks. Leave the space for saxophone solo. And I remember after the gigs where he did with Stepside, he came into my car. I have the stereo with the cassette, and he listened to the music, and he looked at me. So what do you think? Maybe you need some sax solo here. And I say, yeah, I leave the space. He goes, okay. And then we decided when we were supposed to do it. They spent like a couple of, I don't know, some 4 or 5 months later. And he came again during the winter. And we did the recording. So we organized all the shit. I have my studio at that time. He came to my studio. I bring him to the airport. So and we spent 1 day, and we did the recording.
Oh,
yeah, it was a kind of dream, and
yeah, of course.
every musician in the recording was really shocked about, because when he came and started doing the solo, overdub, because it was at that time was not possible to play live together, because it was a question of different times, So he overdubbed, but anyway, he overdubbed like 2-3 solo for every tracks.
Wow.
And then he told me, so you can have anyone, so you have a choice. Maybe you try this, and then you to put this, and then you start again with he moved into one solo with 4 solo together. It was really what he's doing. So it was a really great experience with Michael, and then we still keep in touch. And then I decided to do after a while, and this recording goes really good because nobody in Europe
exactly
have to do something like this with people like him.
Yep.
So this recording sell a lot at that time. So I decided to do another one with one or other hero. It was John Scofield. So I do the same. My Luciano Lindsay was actually is a director of the Casa de Jazz. At the time, he's worked with this label called Gala Records.
Yeah.
And Luciano, okay, probably I have the contact with John Scofield because I know his wife. I don't know. He calls Scofield. That's the same thing. So John Scofield say, okay, I want to do that. I know Roberto Gatto. I want to do this recording, but probably no more than 3 tunes because they have kind of
yeah.
They don't want to do so much, but okay. But 3 tunes are okay. So, and I remember both of them are really cool about the money, also because at that time they were, Michael Brecker told me so. Japanese people call me and I can ask anything I want when I go there just to play solo in some Japanese recording with some Japanese musician. It was really famous,
Yeah.
And with me it was really cool. So, but I have this because I produce the recording by myself. I have this little label, but I pay for the recording at the time for everything. All the musicians came for free. So it was really cool. Both of them are really 2 great person, and I still have a relationship in terms of we are in contact all the time since poor Michael Brecker died really young. But with Sco, we still are in contact anytime he came. Yeah, absolutely. We send a message often. How you doing? I'm in Italy. I'm here. I'm there. So I see you playing there. We really great patch. So that's it. And then I keep this thing to be a leader because not just because I want to stay, but because I know what I like to do in music mostly. So the only possibility to do this is to own by yourself. You have to be there and okay. I want to move this. I want to move there. Instead, to be a session man, so you have to play probably sometimes also music that you don't really like. At one point, just to have a gig, just to have some money because just to be paid for do this, but I don't want to do it. So most of the time I have the idea of what I want to do in music. It's really clear since the beginning, but then of course I do sideman for many years. I play
with everyone.
I collaborate with some Italian great musicians like Enrico Rava, Enrico Pierannunzi,
Paolo Fresu,
Paolo Fresu,
Rita, and all these.
Rita, sure. I do. At the time, I was also sideman with these musicians because we grew up together, and sometimes they put together some bands. So I decided to be part of their projects because it's it's one of the best way to learn from other people. So this is so important. You need to learn from other musicians. So you have to. Then when you got your personal idea of what you want to do, probably you can go alone. And also you need musicians to make music together. But maybe you have to choose young musician around, so see what happens. And then put together and still composing and still having some kind of idea of what you want to do in the future. So it's not so easy to be a sideman. A leader just because you put your name there. So but the people expect something from you, and what he's doing. I'm not that kind of drummer that put anything on the drums, because I really play very, very few things now. I play much, much less than before. So the thing is, to me, and that make me really satisfied, that, you know, to play for the music, to play for the musician, and to help the music to sound better, you know, with my instrument. I don't want to play solo. I'm not that kind of drummer. I mean, I want to be on the scene and play solo all the time, and play trades all the time. No, I like to come. I like to be inside the music, really into the music in a best way as possible. So I play, and I like to compose. I like to do many different things. But, you know, drums is my instrument. But anyway, I'm trying to be a musician first, and then musicians who play the drums, but not the drummer. And that's it. You know, this is my idea.
How do you compose, Roberto? Like you started. I listened today to Ask, and, you know, there's some beautiful music, like Palmarola, and Miko, and those tunes, and you've been composing for the last 40 years. What's your process usually? Like,
I'm most of the time I think about some melodies, you know, just coming up naturally, and then I go to the piano and I put together some notes, and then, okay, the melody works like this, so what is the right chords behind? And I try to, you know, this was my first. Always we most of the time with a melody, but sometimes also with some, I mean, a groove or chord progression also suggests what melody goes on top of that. So depends. Most of the time, still now, I have my telephone, and when I'm driving or when I'm traveling, I don't know, I have some video. I do like stupid thing, but, you know, this is so important.
It works.
Yeah, it works. Otherwise, and I have a lot of audio file with, you know, a couple of bars or something interesting. And sometimes I go listening. But what I have to say now, you know what I'm start doing in February? I'm start composing for something that I really don't expect to. I start writing for orchestra, for symphonic orchestra.
Whoa, really? Oh, man.
But in a really strong way. I mean, and I start also because I understand that I never do that in my life. I do some big band arrangements, but that's it. You know, I'm not that guy who know everything about harmony or about anything, you know. Especially, I didn't know anything about orchestration, about, you know, many things. Though I start with Sibelius, and I have a good, you know, I have to say that this was really the important thing that suggests me to start writing. You know, I found a good library with good symphonic sound, but very, very easy to use. And I put this on Sibelius, and I start listening to these sounds. You know, I start listening to French horn and like clarinet. The sound was so great, and also the strings sound so good. And I start putting notes and listen to the sound. I was really surprised about the good quality of the sound, you know, and very easy to use. This is another important thing. It's very, very easy. So I start trying to put together something. I don't know, and okay, I do 2, 3 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, and then sounds great. And then I put this. I put the strings here. I put you know, the French horn. I put the bassoon. I put this. I put, you know, flute, piccolo, and start develop something that I really don't know. This is not me. This is not possible, you know. But anything I mean, there is not any note to belong to the jazz, I mean, approach. Also in terms, it's most classical stuff, and all the process in composing process is about the counterpoint. As Ennio Morricone says, okay, you want to be a musician, you want to be a composer, okay, you have to learn the counterpoint. Otherwise, don't say that you are a composer. So first, you study the right counterpoint, and then you go through the composition. So it was really, really right. I mean, composition for classical people is a different approach. You don't have to think about the changes. The changes in terms, as we did in jazz music. But you develop all the harmony and all the stuff in this thing. It's not a vertical thing, like jazz, put together. But you have to go through the counterpoint, and then you create the harmony. So, and I start studying, of course, orchestration and harmony at one different level. So start studying about Rimsky-Korsakov orchestration and Walter Piston harmony, and all the Samuel Adler orchestration, and studying all the classical stuff in the deepest way. I mean, and I, of course, I studying from great composer like that I really like. I mean, Stravinsky, of course, that's too difficult. Starting from Stravinsky, I start from Bach. Bach is the number one. Studying, the invention, the 2 voice, 3 voice, 4 voice. Starting from Bach to understand the counterpoint of what he did, and then I go through to the string quartet from Debussy, Ravel, all the Shostakovich string quartet, and then I go through Brahms and all these Mahler, and I start Puccini, of course, and all the great Italians, so Respighi. I go into this. I'm always love to write music at that level, but I never really put my hands into that because I was always thinking it's too difficult. I'm not the young guy who starts studying composition at 65. It's too much. But in this way, what I did and what I discovered, my ears listen much music in my life. I listen, always listen to classical music, and also composer like John Williams, George Delerue, and all the great arrangers, the composer like Jerry Goldsmith, all these people writing for movies at the great level. So, and I start, and now, after a couple of months, I'm doing compositions like a symphony stuff, with a long piece of music divided by different movements.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm still working. I might start in February, but I guess I'm going to spend another year probably to end this symphony, because I want, it's not easy. So I have to. Then I go to some people who know about orchestration. But so what about this? Say, okay, you doing this? Yeah, it's perfect. It sounds so good. The orchestration is right. The harmonies moves okay. The strings are written in a good way. All the technique for the strings. You understand. So, and I'm one by one, step by step, and I'm still doing this work with this composition, and really is a new thing for me, and I really love to do this. And hopefully, I'm going to let some orchestra, real orchestra, play this composition at the end of the next year, probably.
Will you play drums with that, or
no?
Ah, okay, just
I'm
okay.
just composing, you know.
Oh wow, okay, amazing.
Just no drums, no jazz reference.
Wow, okay.
In any, it's more contemporary,
yeah,
classic contemporary stuff. You
fantastic.
know, with full orchestra, with classic symphonic organic. But no drums at the moment, no piano, no guitar, just strings and all the other instruments,
woodwinds,
woodwinds, brass, the little instrument, complete full score. And this is my new my new story, because I really like to do this. This make me really feel good, because I'm always thinking about, I want to do that, but it's too difficult, And then when I discover it's difficult, but one of the things is when I let this, when I ask some people to listen to what I'm doing, some composer or some people that they say the same thing. You have so much music in your head and your ears that it's not so strange that you could, because I really don't know anything about orchestration, about harmony at that level. Still now, I'm studying, but no, I'm not okay. I know everything about counterpoint. I'm studying about counterpoint. I'm reading a lot of music, but especially I'm listening so much music, so my ears works good. And so what I put together, a chord starting from the upper instruments and the piccolo and the flute, and then you go your oboes, English horn, and I develop a chord that sounds with with the string together with the strings. I can hear if it's right or wrong, because my ears are right. So okay, is the wrong chord? No, it's worked. Maybe this is, I duplicate, there is something that maybe you have to be careful, but you can double or some instruments. This is normal. So, you have to put the strings together with the English horn, and then you double. But then sounds good to me, and also when I listen the composition to this composer, so everything was good. So you have just to taking care about the idea of how to develop the melody. This is an important thing.
Yeah.
The most important thing in composition, how the melody
develops.
Develops, and you take this part of the melody and then you do with another instrument, but it's not just orchestration things, right? Then the idea of you starting from me and where you want to go with this melody. And so, especially if you do a long composition in different movements, so you have to think about really well what you want to do, because it's not easy, otherwise it's stupid. I don't, of course I don't want to say no. I want to take my time to go inside this work, because I really like and still learning and studying with the books and listening to the great composer. That's
amazing.
it.
Amazing, man. Yeah, it's good that we always learn, right, throughout life. So that's amazing that you found
Absolutely.
something. Yeah. Roberto, not to take too much of your time, I just wanted to ask you also, what was your story with Pat Metheny? I just watched today and yesterday with Rosario those clips, and it's beautiful. How did that happen, and your experience with him?
Okay, this is one of course, one of our hero. Everyone.
That's why.
You play guitar, right?
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm asking.
That's why Metheny is one of the most interesting musician. Just a great guitar player, but also a great composer. Together with Lyle Mays, we did some really special recording. That everybody grew up with this music. Then I'm always following him. I'm looking, going around, see him playing, when he came, all different. Since the first time he came in Italy with the quartet, with the Pat Metheny group.
Yeah,
the first Pat Metheny group, Danny Glover, Mark Egan, and Lyle, they did the first time. Nobody know about them. They arrived with the pickup, with the van. I remember that time. I was there at sound check. They play just in the center in a wonderful place in Rome. It's called Gianicolo, just up in hill. There's a hill looking all Rome. And they arrived at 6 o'clock. I was friend to the organizer, and say, okay, come with the sound check. We have this great guitar player tonight, play with his band. Okay, I've been there. So and I start looking at this really Yankee American, with the head like regular. Arrive with this pickup and bring this amplifier. He bring his amplifier and put on stage. Work all the organization to put together the sound check. And then, okay, I stayed there. So until the concert start, it was really one of the best. I can believe, nobody, all the people there was really shocked because the sound was so perfect. The music was so incredible. They played like 3 hours behind Rome. Behind them, they turned. So what is beautiful there? We can play all the night for you because it's so. They was really happy. So since that time was the first time I see Pat Metheny, then I'm always looking where they play, and I'm always looking follow the band. And I remember that night after the gig, the organizer bring them to have a dinner late after the concert. And so, if you want to come, we go there. So me and my friend go to the restaurant, and we have a dinner together with Metheny and all the band. We really, really enjoy it. So then Metheny go, I don't know, at the end of his plate for maybe some girls, I don't know. And then Gottlieb and Mark Egan stay with and we go to. I have a rehearsal place. We've been there all the night with like playing and talking. Yeah. And we stay together, so it was really, really nice. So then, I don't want to go too long. I mean, I follow him always. Then at one point, it was probably 15 years. No, probably a little less. So Metheny was a really big fan of Enrico Rava. Since they recorded together for ECM, and Metheny he admit that he was a really big fan of Enrico since when Enrico recording for the
like the Abercrombie and Christensen records. So I love that stuff.
That's it.
Yeah,
and he decided to be guest on the Enrico Rava quintet. He asked through the manager because he is supposed to come. Sometimes he do this kind of artist in residence, and he liked to be in some place and to stop there and make different things, say probably play trio, play guitar solo, and he planned. When he decided to plan something, he did. I mean, at that time he decided to be in Sardinia, the beautiful place in a festival called Sant'Anna Resi. Through the manager, he let the Enrico Rava manager that he want to be like there for a full week, and he really would like to be a guest because we both play in the same festival. He played with the trio with I remember at the time with Bill Stewart and
Christy McBride probably.
Probably. Yes.
Or Larry Granier, that's one of those guys.
Oh, Larry, I don't remember, but he was there, and then he stopped in Sardinia with his family because he really would like to have a couple of days of vacation, and he bring all family, his wife. So he stayed, and then he asked the manager, "So I want to be guest of Enrico Rava because I'm a big fan of Enrico Rava." So this is happened, and he came with the quintet, playing the music of Enrico. And I remember it was really behind Enrico, because it's not Pat Metheny group, but he was just a guest, but he was really, really behind Enrico, kind of, I have a lot of respect for you, because you're older than me, and I listen to your, and then this collaboration start, and he asked again 1 year later to do the same thing even in Sardinia, but this time two or three gigs as a guest. Then he asked to do Umbria Jazz with the same group, and we did Umbria Jazz and Ravenna Jazz Festival together with Enrico Rava Quintet. So we did like 6, 8, 9 concerts together with him.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
And the video from YouTube that you are talking about with me and Rosario was last time we played together, because he came in Sardinia. That really love Sardinia anyway, to be on vacation. And he was there to do this carte blanche, like for a full week. He played with an orchestra with the Sardinian musician, Launedas, all the, and then he also played with Enrico also this time, but he has some days off. And when I arrived in Sardinia 1 day before our concert with Enrico, we've been together at dinner. He said, Roberto, what do you think about if we can open the concert in trio? Why we just find the bass player? So Rosario is supposed to come, but a day later. So I call Rosario, say, Rosario, get a plane before, because probably we can do, this concert in trio with Pat before. I don't remember another set that he did. So Rosario came, and we played this concert. We did this long set, one of the 2 sets of that night, and we played together the trio as a trio. And then we still in touch, and we email each other sometimes. And before I left my apartment in New York, was a nice thing happened about. I give him a call and I say, okay, but I'm in New York and stay until next week. I don't remember. If you want to take, coffee, maybe we can have a coffee together. And he say, why you don't come to my place Monday? We can have some coffee there. Maybe we can talk, and maybe we can also play, me and you. So I've been to this apartment, amazing, incredible apartment in the middle of Manhattan, just in front of Apple Music, Apple Store. And I go up in his apartment. He was alone at that time. The family was away. I don't know. So we start talking, and one thing I see immediately when I come into kind of studio, it's kind of studio with a lot of Mac screen all around, was working some production, I don't know. There is a lot of guitar into the wall, all the room was full of guitar. And I'm a really big fan of the instrument, so I know also about guitars, about double bass. I know something about, because I love instrument anyway. So, and my eyes goes directly to one guitar that I recognized. It was one of the 2 L5 from West Montgomery. And I look at this guitar and say, but this is the one of the of the 2 L5. Super. And he start talking, tell me about the story of this guitar, that was from George Benson before, and then George Benson, he decided to sell to him like 20 years ago, I don't know. So we start talking about guitars, and then he took the guitar from the wall. So, you want to try? No, okay. I would just to have the emotion to have one of the. And then he has many other guitars. He has another one from Charlie Christian, was one of the 2 guitars from Charlie Christian, the Gibson L145, I don't remember how it's called. And then, all the prototype guitars, this many
everything.
Yeah, that's it. And then he has the 2 175, the first one, with the toothpaste.
I love that
brush,
one.
almost in a really bad condition, and another one exactly like the same but newer, little newer than the other one. And he say, okay, the first one is the original one, and the most famous that I play since the beginning, but I never traveled anymore with this because it's too delicate. The Japanese guy offered me like $200,000 for this, and I was thinking about maybe I can give the, but then I changed my idea, so it's still there. Then I have another one similar, but I don't also travel with this because now Ibanez make the guitar for me. So, and then we started, we spent like 1 hour talking about guitar, and then it's okay, let's play some, and then we start playing as a duo, me and him. He has piano, double bass, have a good room for rehearsal, and then we start playing. So he recorded everything.
Oh wow!
We started playing like Solar, How Insensitive, all this tune they really like to play. After that, so we spent like 2 hours, probably more, playing, and he recorded and he say, okay, I have to say really thanks to this, because tomorrow night I don't play so much in this time because I was producing a video that I did with my band, so I never practiced so much in those days. But tomorrow I have the Roy Haynes' birthday at the Blue Note, so it's good to me to have some playing today because I will warm up a little bit. And so then, okay, I say hello. This was my last time I saw him live. I mean, personally. Then he came to play in Italy last summer, and he sent me an email, invite me to the concert. But we skip. But he's really a big star. I mean,
of course.
but it can be really one of the best person, but at the same time, one of the put kind of a wall between.
Yeah. But interesting story, man. Wow.
Yeah. No, not so much with me, but I can say sometimes I wrote him and he never replied for 1 year,
Sure.
And I just say hello. One time he has another baby recently. I mean, like
really? I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
5 years ago. And he sent me the picture. There was she. I don't remember she's male or female. Anyway, she just was born, and he sent me the picture with the little baby. So this is a new one coming up. So it's very, very friendly, but at the same time it can be.
Yeah.
At one point you put some.
Yeah.
But anyway,
in a way, it makes sense. I mean, he's super busy and
super busy.
I guess, yeah.
But he's a nice person. I remember when we spent in Sardinia, I was with my family, with my wife and my 2 kids, and he was with his family with 2 young kids at the time. And we've been to the, how you say, the machine where.
Oh yeah, the bumping cars. Yeah.
That's it. The bumping cars. Him and my wife together in one car, and me and his wife in another car. So we spent, with the bear taking ice cream, going around in this beautiful place in Sardinia. So we spent, we had great time together. Anyway.
Beautiful, nice story, man. It's still a nice story. Yeah.
I want put all this story in a book one day.
You should actually, yeah. I mean, you've done so much, really. You should write something.
I have a lot of stories.
Yeah, it's good to preserve this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I still, when something come up in my mind, I just go to the telephone and say, okay, one day, this day, this date, this happened. Then I want to put together all these things, and I try to write something, I ask maybe some friends,
journalist or someone, to help you. Yeah,
because it's a lot of story about anything, about many of them.
Of course,
with Brecker, with Stan Getz, with George Coleman, with Griffin, with Gatto Barbieri, many stories about this great musician.
Yeah, you have to do it. I love reading those, like Peter Erskine biography or
that's it.
So Wayne Shorter, Herbie, all these guys, and then you're like, oh man, it's so nice
No,
to
no,
read this stuff, you know. It's or listen
sure,
because
sure.
it's part of
No,
the
I
tradition.
think I have a lot of interesting story. I mean, then you connect maybe and you develop a story around, you know, because they're not just. I remember one time when I was there. Okay, then you have to.
Yeah, you have to
build.
but still,
as a book. Anyway,
but beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Roberto, I will not take more of your time, but multi mille grazie for sharing some of these thoughts. I really appreciate it. So.
When you are coming in Italy?
Oh, I played last year with Bob Moses and Ariel Tanderson, and
okay.
But this year I don't have any plans. So, but it would be nice to play one day or meet up for some nice pasta or wine. If you're in Slovenia, drop me a line. We live in the wine region, so if you like wine,
absolutely.
Come over.
So I'm always trying to get musician also in Italy when it's possible to do. So who never know. So I would like to have a collaboration and play with musicians.
Would be beautiful.
Would be
beautiful. That's super.
Stay in touch anyway.
Yeah, grazie. I'll send you a link when this is out and we can then share it and everything. So.
Grazie Samo.
Grazie.
Ciao, un abbraccio.